My name is Lucas and I would like to share with you my testimony about heaven and about Heavenly Father. To bring you closer to this amazing encounter, I decided to reconstruct the place which I have seen in my vision. I was able to restore almost all elements to give you a clearest possible view of this what's happened and share with you my complete experience. It took me a bit time to find and adjust right elements. Step after step, place and other elements start to remind me really good of this what I have seen in the heaven. So let's focus on the first element, which is a chair. But in fact, it could be also a throne. This chair which I saw was very solid. Back of this chair was a bit longer than normal. All elements been very well and precise placed. All was really good connected. Comfortable, stable, but also very modest in style. Very simple and solid. Very modest in character. When I successfully reconstruct the chair, I get idea to reconstruct another element. I wanted to reconstruct king, which was sitting in the chair. I started to search for picture, which reminds me the king which I have seen in my vision. It was very difficult to match anybody who could look like a person which I saw in heaven. I found one picture which matched very exactly the person I saw in my vision. Impression on the face, kindness and patience really closely match the king which I have seen in heaven. I started to reconstruct this picture. I was very surprised when I have seen the final effect. When I finished this reconstruction, I decided to do a little experiment. Without big expectations, I copy the king from the picture which has been reconstructed to the picture where was the chair. It was really like a miracle when I realized what's happened when I connected picture of the king with picture of the chair. It started to look really close as this what I have seen in my vision. But there is another miracle which happened after. I was able to bring to the reality another element which gave me a full picture of the king which I have seen in the heaven. His garment was done from one piece. I remember this material very exactly. It was a linen material. Simple, not flashy, very natural, very modest, and really clean. Now it's time to tell you a little bit about the location. This location had only one tower. I call this construction behind a castle, but it was like a perfect mix between the castle, fortress, and church. I could see all of these elements in architecture. Enter to this construction was behind the back of the king. It was behind the chair. Everything in one line. He was sitting straight on the way to the entrance. Enter to this construction was like unfinished, or even opened with force in the past. I saw stones and forms of bricks in the way to the entrance, but no doors. There was simply no doors. Entrance was like free from doors. Plants grown up over the stones brick very peacefully on the way to the entrance. It was looking very natural. From outside, this place had kind of holy and military character. But peace, created by the atmosphere around, turned this castle into the little and friendly shelter. Because there was no doors in entrance, I was able to see what is inside on the back of this castle. On the back of this mysterious construction, I saw a room with big long windows. This kind of windows are mostly in the churches. Glass had different colors and motifs. On the back of this castle, I saw a very solid stone table. On the table was opened book, much bigger than those books which you can find in the bookshop. Now you have seen all of these elements. All of them are very close to this what I have seen in heaven. But now, let me tell you exactly what's happened. In front of me I found field. Big green field. Surrounded by mysterious peaceful atmosphere. I could see very precise all details. Grass so alive. Moving like dancing on the ground. But without music, without wind. Simply happy grass around. Little accents of the nature. Crystal clear sky. Clouds like alive. Everything so realistic. Much more than this what I saw on the earth. Temperature was so ideal. Not too hot, not too cold. Temperature like completely switched off from this place. Away from possibility to disturb anybody anyhow. In this place nobody could say that it's too cold or it's too warm. Temperature was so ideal that it was simply not possible to feel the temperature. Also, the feeling of time. There was simply no time. 1 second could have 1 hour. It was like I could smell eternity in the air. I was standing without move, enjoying fullness and the beauty of this moment. I felt that when I breathe with all of me. I didn't breathe only with my mouth and nose, but with all of myself. Air in this place is like filled up with wisdom, truth and consciousness in the same time. Like a perfect mix of everything was good in every single breath. Harmony, peace and understanding touching all the senses at once. It seems like presence unlocked 1,000 parts of me, which has been blocked all the time on the earth. It feels like I had thousands of brains under my head, all synchronized to the one accord of goodness without limitation. I had no reason to ask about anything. Invisible wave of harmony and understanding surrounded me without any pressure. I wanted to see a little bit more, so I decided to turn my head little bit in other side. And then I saw a man, dressed in white garment, sitting on the big chair in front of little castle. Immediately I turned head down. He was all the time next to me, so silent and quiet. I realized with all my senses that this wonderful, peaceful atmosphere around, coming from his presence. He was the source of this wonderful atmosphere around. His presence reflects his character all over this place like a mirror. Composure, purity, meekness, gentleness, all of this was present in the air. I could feel his goodness inside and outside of myself. I felt like all particles of my body gave him glory even before my mind was able to realize what's happening around. His presence had unlimited access. His presence touched all around. His glory radiate with such a kindness, expand everything around with this merciful kindness. His presence went through all my body and spirit, like a bird through the cloud on the sky, without any resistance. It was like he was sharing his perfect presence with everything around. His presence is gentle and calm. His presence is a perfect harmony. His presence is like a light which doesn't blind. His presence surrounds all of this place. I felt with all of me that he is in control of everything. Slowly my senses start to recognize who is he. He is a king. He is a king of glory. He is a king above all other kings. He is a king of goodness. He is a king of justice. He is judge. He is justice. He is a warrior. He is a mastermind thinker. He's perfection. He's provider. He's creator. He's a father. He's a father of Jesus. And I'm a sinner. Sinner from planet Earth. Place where his son was physically killed. I was still standing there, next to him, with my head down, surrounded by this holy presence. I started to feel ashamed, guilty in all my ways. I felt like a little kid in front of the father, after troubles in school, disappointed of me, disappointed of myself. Suddenly I heard this kind and gently voice which said, "This world, it's only my tool." I heard this very clearly. Meekness and kindness in frequency of his voice was cut out completely from any form of pride. My senses start to navigate correct meaning of this sequence. It was like he was saying, I use reality to show you what I'm able to do, and what I'm allowed to happen. I was still standing next to him, with my head still down. I didn't make any move. I was aware that he is the creator of presence, and this reality working together as his connection of wisdom and goodness together. Somehow I started to think in my mind how it would be to eat a bit of chocolate there. I don't know from where this idea jumped inside my head. I just want to know how the chocolate tastes in this world. And then I heard second time this kind and gentle father voice. Not too sweet, not too bitter. I understood immediately that he had full access to my thoughts. There is simply nothing what could be hidden for him. He looked inside my thoughts, but at some point I felt like he looked straight inside my heart. I was still standing there. He was next to me, dressed in his white linen garment, sitting in his, let's say, solid chair, look far away ahead, like looking everywhere and see everything. Quiet and vigilant, meek and calm, aware and gentle, armed in holy patience in his discreet way of being. Suddenly he said, "Now is the right time." I opened my eyes. There was a night. I was in bed. Realized that it's a bit dark. Next to my bed I had a little table. I had little lamp there. I wanted to switch on this little lamp. Suddenly something fell on the floor. Moment after, I found a button from the light. So I pressed the button. Light went direct on the floor. I dropped down Bible on the floor. It surprised me. Book was open on the carpet. I had only one verse exposed on this page. It was written, "He did this to demonstrate at the present time that he himself is righteous and that he justifies everyone who has believed in Jesus." I read this and I started to cry. He said, "Now is the right time." I found in verse, "It is a present time." Father wanted to demonstrate at the present time that He Himself is righteous and that He justifies everyone who has believed in Jesus.